We're in the middle of a sikha in Vayetze, Chelik Tezvov, second sikha, Siv Dalet. So this sikha is explaining the pasuk in Yeshaya, what steht dort? V'holchu amim rabim v'omru luchu v'nala al har Hashem. Vayim are going to come and say, let's go up to har Hashem. El Beis Yaakov. And then it says in the pasuk a double lashon. V'yireinu midrachav v'nelcha bar chaysav. And then the pasuk continues, Ki mitziyim tetzei teira dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. So the Rebbe has two main shilas. Ashton, so what's this double lashon here? Second of all, B'chlal, what's this Indian that we're saying that the Goyim lost love? You're going to want to come see the Yidden in the Beis HaMikdash. Why? Because they want to learn Torah. That's what it sounds like. Tzim tetzei teira. The union of Torah is not shaykh to Goyim. They want to come see other things, but say that. But why does it say here dafka the union of Tzim tetzei teira? Okay, so on Siv Gimel, the Rebbe begins to explain.
They don't. I mean, I know in
Korea
they learn Talmud.
Yeah.
Only the business part. Only the business.
No. It says here they want to learn Torah. So steht. Ziehen Tetzei Torah. Dvar Hashem Yerushalayim. Was abschatten them? Yeah, Torah. Dvar Hashem. Okay, so the Rebbe begins to explain what's the difference between Torah and Dvar Hashem. That when you learn Torah, there are two parts. There's learning the Shakal V'Tarya of Torah. There is all kinds of opinions in Torah. There's Bishamai Mokim B'Sil and Mishnah. We don't paskin like Bishamai. There's Minhagim that are relevant in one place but are not relevant in another place. Then you have Psak Halacha. The Psak Halacha, that's the Maskana. Yes, Siv Dal. Let's learn Siv Dal. The Rebbe continues explaining the meaning of Halacha. Hagam as alle deis mechalokis pluktis and gemara v'chulu and as eich the inyan from kesalkedaitach v'kashis shebeteire, all opinions, all of discussions, and even only a half a minute, and even only a question in Teira, zen a chelik from Teira, it's all part of Teira. Elu ve'elu divrei lekim chayim. All opinions are lekim chayim, and you have to make a bracha if you learn it. Verti halacha gepaskint nor vi ein deya. The halacha is like one opinion. When you have Havaya, the level of Havaya with you, that's when you have the koyach that the halacha should be like your opinion. Halacha und deis chalukis. So from this you understand that when you have a halacha and then you have many opinions in Torah, zene bedugmas achiluk von shem Havaya und shem elovelo divrei lekim chayim. Those beide zene from design shem sheinen imchakim. They're both from the 7 names that are not allowed to be erased. But there's a difference between the name Havaya and the name Elikim. What's the difference? Says you do the the explanation is known. Elikim and Oich Elikim Chayim. So meaning that's really 2 different levels. There's a level of Elikim, and then there's Elikim Chayim, which means a higher level, the Shoirish of Elikim, where the Chayis of Elikim comes from. So it's Techa from Elikim Stam. Is Loshen Rab. But still, even Elikim Chayim, it's still a plural term. So even in a Lakos Gufe, it's the source for multiplicity, division, and so on. The far, so because in a Lakos this is a level where there's any sin is marking for levels, is this Azayach in Teira. So in Teira as well, there's a Chalkas. Therefore, as Mitzad, Elikim Chayim is Shayach, that Indian is Chalkas from Elo Velo. Therefore, it's possible that Elo Velo, that it could all be a part of Teira. That's mitzad the of Elikim. Yeah. Okay, so the concept of chayiv, potter, tomei, tor, that it's all true. It all has truth to it. Right? So if you don't learn any chassidus, so memanav shech other das is emes, other das is emes. What's the pshat? Beid is in an emes. How could it be? If it's something al pisechel, so he made a mistake. When he said potter, he made a mistake in it. So he can zayin beide. Elamai, there's an akuda of truth. The concept of truth is not just either absolute truth or sheker gomer. It's not. There's a very big area from emes la'amitai until sheker. There's a lot of different levels in truth. Where the Eibishter is expressed in his purity on his terms, kamay shuhu, not fitted to any existence. So over there in the emes la'amitai, it's pshittas. There's no levels where the truth is expressed in one aspect or another aspect. It is no gedorim. There's no gvulim. When you have a lekim, which is the expression of lekos, chesed and gvura, is chesed hepech haemes. Mitzad gvura, there's no room for chesed. Mitzad chesed, there's no room for gvura. But each one b'mekaima expresses a certain prat of emes. So it's a different musig of emes. It's not the purity of emes. The Eibush already comes down behesem to a certain geder, to a certain darga. That's a lekim chayim. That's the chelik of Torah where there's a kasha, a teretz, a havamin, a maskana, a argument. But avaye shema mufurish, shema etzem, shema miyuchad. 3 different expressions that it says in Chazal, the Rebbe is Metzainer and Saite, and then the lashon of shema etzem is from a Kesef Mishnah. It's always Metzayin and Kabbalah. And also the Gemara uses the term shema miyuchad l'mayla mischalkus. What that means is it's expressing. It's also a name, but it's expressing the Eibishter where there's no division. Was the Rebbe vet v'shem avaya nimshach der inyan von halacha psukim teire dafke ein deya. That's the halacha psuka of Torah where there's one opinion because over here it's not shaykh to say that there's an aspect of truth by from kazeh, there's an aspect of truth by from kazeh. It says ein emes which comes down in one oifen. This is what it is. There's no different ways how to slice it. There's no different ways how to apply it. When you have the truth of the Eibishter on his terms, so then that truth is not shaykh to his chalkas. That's the 2 parts of Torah. Yeah. Comes from Shem Elokim.
How could they have Elu? How could they both be right?
No, because that's the musik of Shem Elokim. Musik of Shem Elokim, I tried to explain before. No.
So Chesed says Gvura is not right.
Chesed says Potter, Gvura says Chayev, or Tomei Toir. So is it true or is it not true? On this darge, there's a truth to this. On this darge, there's a truth to this. It's not either true or not true. In Elokus Gufet, there's an Esinis Mokim for different Teifanim. When it's a darge of Elokus, that's Shaykh to his Chalkus. But in Elokus where there's Pshitis, over there it's not shaykh to be mechalik dargas of emes. Over there it's the emes lamitay. And that emes lamitay comes down in anhaga b'poil. In the anhaga b'poil of the person, that's where the emes of the Eibush is expressed. In seichel, there could be perushim. There could be different, one person understands something in one life and another person understands something in another life. In the maisa b'poil, all Yidden are the same. Over there's no looking for perushim. Why? Because the maisa b'poil is where the truth of something is expressed. Yeah. Tafkin Maisa, that's the halacha. Okay, Sifei. Al derech zeh is euch the chilik zwischen Teire und Dvar Havaya. So that's the nekuda here. That's the 2 inyanim of Teire and Dvar Havaya. Teire is koilel euch the svaris and the deis she'en halacha k'maisan. The term Teire here refers to all sections of Teire. The euch the erois was bekämpfen sie upland and b'mokem macher. And even the fact that you have instruction, lessons that you can take from a subject in Teire in one place and learn out to a different place. Mashenkin Dvar Havaya, was is wie die Gemara sagt, Dvar Havaya zu halacha. Dvar Havaya refers to the part of Torah which is dafka halacha. Das is kavanas hakosov mitzia in teitze Torah udvar Havaya mirushalayim. So here the Rebbe is going to explain what are the 2 inyanim of Tzion and Yerushalayim in connection to Torah and Dvar Havaya. Der inyan von Torah is verbunden mit Tzion, the level of Torah where it's all sections of Torah, that's connected to Tzion. Und Dvar Havaya mit Yerushalayim. So what Yerushalayim is, we know. Yerushalayim is the city of Yerushalayim. Was ist das Tzion? It says Yedua, so it's known what it says in Chassidus. As a Teichen, Mahus von jeden Sach, direkt sich aus in your Namen. The name is telling you what level it is. Also is es euch beneden die dann. Die Namen Tzion und Yerushalayim, these 2 names, Hagam, beide, batzeichenen, dieselbe Stadt. Even though they're both referring to the very same city, weist jeder Name auf a besonder Inyan und Meile in dem Stadt. But these are 2 different names that express a different aspect of the Meile of the city of Yerushalayim. The Namen Tzion, which means a Lashon Siman, when you have a marker. That's why a caver is called a Tzion, because you can put a Tzion, a Siman, to know that someone's buried there. Or the expression that it says, place for yourself a Siman. Triktois dem Inyan was is nor a siman von an ilui ruchni, that the city of Yerushalayim here below is a sign for a certain ruchni level that the city below relates to. Kiyudua as Yerushalayim shel mata is mechuvenes keneged Yerushalayim shel maila. The city below is corresponding to Yerushalayim shel maila. That's the word Tzion. So what's interesting in this sikha, this is one of the big chidushim in this sikha. The Rebbe here is being masber, as we'll see. The Rebbe is trying to explain that Tzion is actually a level lower than Yerushalayim. That Achlal and Chassidus always says that Tzion shows in the Pnimius. Sometimes the Taichus, Tzion means, al derech the Lashon that Rab Shimon ben Yochai says, Anos Simona Balma. Ich mish kem Tzion b'chlal. I don't exist. Who am I? I desestig bin da. My whole existence is just to be like a sign, an indicator for something that's not me, for the Eibishter. Here, though, the Rebbe is teaching faket. Tzia means there is a mitzias, not as a mitzias of a city lamata. And the whole mile of the city lamata is the fact, giluyim, that it's a siman that's megala, that this entity of the city here below is megala, something, the ruchni is the counterpart to the city below. That's what the Rebbe is teaching here. The name Yerushalayim. On the other hand, what is the name Yerushalayim? That's a higher level. Weist of the mile from Yerushalayim was is not in ear. That's the Maila, the Yerushalayim, which refers to Yira Shalem, the Shlemus of Yira. That shows the Maila that the city has, not that it's Megala, it's revealing something else, but what the city of Yerushalayim itself is. Wie steht in Medrash, V'nika Yerushalayim, Al Shem Yira, Al Shem Shalem, that the word Yerushalayim is a combination of the two words Yira and Shalem. The says as in Yerushalayim is the Bechinas or Bechina Yira B'Shlemus. You have the shleimustic level of Yira, and it says, the simple pshat of this is that it's wrote in Taisus and other places when they came, Smash Beis Hamikdash Kayim, to the Beis Hamikdash, and they saw the Aveda of the Karbonis and all the Nissim that happened to Beis Hamikdash, that brought shleimus of Yira. So not that it's an Indian, that it's Megala, something else. That's what the city of Yerushalayim itself is, shleimus Yira. Yeah, here the Rebbe brings it. And Vim is Masber, as it's explained, the Sinyan Taisus brings this, the Apostle Laman Tilmad Liyiras Havaya Lakach Kol Hayam. What's the reason for the mitzvah of Ma'aseh Sheni? That you should eat this food dafke in Yerushalayim. So like this, you'll come to Yerushalayim every so often. As das was man hat gesehen, Mokim Shchina, Kayanim Bavidasam, Levim Budachana, Yisrael b'may Modam, hat es gelernt und gebracht Liyiras Havaya. That brought to the level of Liyiras Havaya. Okay, so here you see this, yeah. Okay, this is the Maisa here. So this is the Chiddush of this Indian here. In the heart of 40, there's the Maramokim to Tzion, Yerushalayim, Al Derech HaKabbalah v'Chassidus. It's Mitzayin to all the places that it explains in Chassidus. And all those places that the Rebbe is Mitzayin to there, it says Fakert of what the Rebbe explains here. And in the end of the heart, it says, V'yesh l'tavich ha'mavur b'fnim, or Rele Kaman, Order 55. So we'll get there, Mitzvah Shem. In Order 55, the Rebbe explains how what he's saying here is not a state to what it says usually that Tzion is in a higher level. And here the Rebbe is saying, no, Yerushalayim is that this is the Shleimus HaYira. Not that it's Megala something else, but this is the actual Shleimus HaYira. So now what's the connection to the two levels we're talking about?
We just put Tzion and Yerushalayim together.
No, but they're different levels though. It's the same. It's referring to the same city.
Yeah. So Yerushalayim is the experience success, and Tzion is it's similar to what's higher than.
Correct. It's two different levels, two different inyanim.
Okay, so I thought you put it together.
No, two different inyanim.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Sivav. Okay, I'm learning by today. Okay, if you have to go, you can go.
Yeah.
Huh?
Honor might be here.
I'm going to learn a little bit there. Huh?
The honor might be here.
What?
It might be able to be here.
Okay. Okay. The zwei beginnes anal. Tzion Yerushalayim. The two levels we're speaking about here, both Tzion Yerushalayim, sind da euch in the Darges Haveda von Yidden. So this is an Avedas Hashem by Yidden. You have these two levels of connecting to the Eibishter. Varum Kishay with the Eibishter Bacha Beretz Yisrael, Azoyach Bacha Lechelka Yisrael. It goes together. The Eibishter chooses Eretz Yisrael, and he chooses also the Yidden to be his, like Eretz Yisrael. So they're the same. Azevi in Yerushalayim, which is the Mufchar, Sheb Eretz Yisrael. Yerushalayim is the most chosen, the best of the whole entire Eretz Yisrael. And Faran, the Tzvei B'chinas Tzion Yerushalayim, Al Derech Zeh Zenonich Bei Yidden, Bavidasan Faran, the Tzvei B'chinas. Yeah, both of these levels in the Aved of Yidden. What is the difference? Yerushalayim, Al Shem Yirev, Al Shem Shalem. Shalayim, which refers to the most perfect and highest level of Yiras Hashem, is an Aveda, the Madrege von Tachlis, Ushleimos Hayire Va'abitel. What does that mean? Sein Horeven und Eisedlen sich and an Eifen, as ein ganze Metzies is Yire Bittel Betachlis. When a person comes to the level where he's completely, totally dedicated to the Eibishter. So we're talking here about Yiri law on the highest level. That the Shleimus of Yire Bittel Betachlis. Siyai Meloshin Simin, when you have an entity that exists, but there is a siman in it for something else. What does that mean? Is er even Aveda von Ayiden durch welche de gerecht zu werden hat ziehen wie simen von den Janem Neilem und Lekosla Maila. What does this mean? Is noch in dem Zier von Ametzias und nicht betachlis abittel. He's still an entity. He's not completely nullified. Aber sein Metzias ist also ausgearbeitet und ausgeedelt, but he's so refined as he's a siman of the Inyanim Shalamayla. When you look at him, it's not that you don't see him, you don't see the person. You see a person. Elamai, he's focused. He's completely dedicated to the Eibishter. That's the concept of tzion. So there's a mitzias, which is batal. Mashenkin in Yerushalayim, it's shleimus hayira. Shleimus hayira is not a mitzias, which is batal. Adarab, it's bittul b'mitzias. You don't see anybody in the first place, not even a mitzias, which is batal. He's just completely a hemshach of the Eibishter. It's all, his whole mitzias is a pure hemshach of Elokos. There's other places where the Rebbe explains this Indian in the Taich of the Maimah Chazal, Ani Nevreisi L'Shamash Eskaini. Right, so the Gersa of Ani Nevreisi L'Shamash Eskaini says, Ani Nevreisi, I'm created, I'm here. Now, what am I created for? To eat, to drink, to exercise. L'Shamash Eskaini. But it's an answer to the question of Ani Nevreisi, like, or to the statement you say, I'm created, I'm a Metzias. Now that I'm here, I utilize my energy for the Eibishter's sake. Ani loy nevreisi el l'shamish kanim mitzich nish da b'chlal. I desestig bin da. What's the hand? The hand is a hechetimtze because the Eibishter wants tefillin. So where are you going to put the tefillin? In the middle of the air. It has to be a hand where the tefillin is going to be placed. The whole mitzias of the hand in the first place is not a hand that can be used to throw a ball or a havdol for tefillin. It's a chatchila mitzias that's made for the tefillin. That's how the person views the hand. He doesn't see a hand b'chlal. He sees a arm for tefillin. That's the concept of Yerushalayim. Shenkin Tzion is a Metzias, which is serving the Eibishter. Und wie bald is a Metzias. Und b'matzove zeh, euch benegetz is ein Seichel. So since he's an entity, exists, he thinks for himself, haravet zu verstehen Teire. So he works hard to use his Seichel, to understand Teire. Nehmt Teire euch leut seine Keiches, avana v'asage. So therefore, what aspect of Teire does he take? He can take Torah on the level that he is accessing Torah with his mitzias. Und that's what the pasuk says: is mitziyain is teitzei Torah. From the level of tziyain, the lower level of bittul, from there comes only Torah. As tziyain, as simin, be'eisen zayin aged von epis mitzias. When a person is very focused and very dedicated, and therefore his entire existence is a sign for the Eibishter, but he's still a mitzias. Is verbunden mit b'chinas Torah. Was in is shaykh riboy v'schalkus. There's a possibility for to be divisions and levels. Kanal siv dalet. Hayis as limud v'asage b'teire is loyd zay mitzias. If he's learning according to what he understands, is tach b'meile. And an eifen von riboy v'schalkus v'cholo. So there'll be different ways of how to understand something. Kol echad k'fi asagosay k'fi sheirish shmasay. As it is with learning, why does one person understand something different than the other? Because if there's two Jews, there has to be three opinions. Why is it this way?
He's Moshiach Chesed. He's Moshiach.
That's right. That's the only reason there's arguments between us. Otherwise, it's all mushrish l'mayla. Anish v'tnal, there would be no. That's the nice. So this is the darge of Teire, which is connected to Tzion. Yeah. Aber from deswegen wie bald as I mitzias is at Tzion v'simin oiv the Inyanim Shalamayla. But we're not talking about a mitzias. We're talking about a mitzias that's batal. So therefore, his entire mitzias, everything he understands, is for the sake of Torah, for the sake of the Eibishter. The Rebbe sind in seine Svares v'chulu chalakim from Torah semes. They all become part of Torah. And Eilevele divrei lekim chayim. It says that the Svares Rabbis, all the different ideas in Torah, werden nestalshul und sind in der Fahr atziyim v'simim von ribuy abchines, was sind da kaviyachol in lekim chayim. Lashon abim. So this is the level of Elokos that the person reaches and relates to with his mitzias. So you access this level of Elokos, which is shaykh to your mitzias. Elokim Chaim. Aber das alles is no benegei asagas Torah. That's when you learn Torah, and your basis of Torah is your understanding. Was is nit verbunden mit halacha lemaise. And over here, it's not what you have to actually necessarily do. Of them is maspik b'chinas tzion. You don't necessarily have to come to the level of Yerushalayim. However, in order to be able to pasken a halacha, it's not shaykh to your one of us saga, but ma'aseh b'poel. What am I doing with ma'aseh b'poel? Verstehst yeh, verstehst nicht. What does the Eibishter want me to do now? If them is not maspik b'chinas tzion. For this, the level of tzion is insufficient. Man darf haben shleimus hayire, which is udvar avaye Yerushalayim. Here you have to have dafke dvar avaya. Kumavur behemshech tafrish samach vav, famous word that's always quoted from samach vav. As paskinen a halacha be'emes la mitoi, not just the union of emes, but emes la mitoi then kemen no durch shleimus hayira. That's only possible if you have the ultimate yira. Hat meire tome chalile v'zaym psakalochen nitzaym chovim kefi rotzen elyon. His entire motive of the learning is not because he's interested in understanding the Indian. That's not negayat him. He's completely focused just on one thing, that he wants to make sure that he gets the rotzen elyon right. As a zutreffen to the kavana. V'ad heipach rachman al-tzam from rotzen elyon. He might chas v'shalom paskin the opposite of rotzen elyon. That's his entire. That's what it is. If when your entire motive of learning is just this point, to be sure that you're paskening like the halacha of Torah, then it's a different story. Then the person has a much deeper level of bittul in his learning. Yeah. Okay, so we hear this ganze Populim in the Ha'aris about what the Rebbe is saying here in the Pnim, because it's different than it says usually. Yeah. Okay, so we're not going to learn all the Ha'aris to speak, but just let's finish off with one Ha'ara. Ha'ara 52.
55?
55 is the big one. That's what we'll leave for that for next week.
51, which one?
52.
52.
Ha'ara 52, yeah. Question. Okay, so here, Ab lahar sheyesh negam b'madrege nailes ano simone ba'alme b'chines tzion she'amar Ashbi. So over there, see out of 52. It's too small, the words.
No, this is.
Yeah, you got it? 52? No.
I got it.
Try this.
No, I got it.
Okay. So when Ashbi says ano simone ba'alme, what happens when Ashbi says ano simone ba'alme?
Doesn't work.
Av shezeu mitzad oitzim bituloi she'ene b'chines mitzias la'atzmei klal. Right, so over there, Adarabah, the Lashon Tzion, the Lashon of Simon means that it's an absolute bittul. Harei Matzinu Yisayre Mizu. Harei Matzinu, 1 second, where does this go over here? Harei Matzinu Yisayre Mizu. Hachilok, you have to go over here. Hemshech is in the beginning of the line afterwards. Hachilok ben Neshama is dema, b'chinazah. The Iker Avidasam, who b'chinas bittul mitzad shmosam dafke. Ba'asage ve'izbainus b'chinas Dveikus amiti ba'erein seif b'chinas bittul mimetzias mamish v'neshamas the ban b'chinas malchus k'may nishmas David ve'Eliyosh avidasam v'bittul layesh. So the two dargas of neshamas are the neshamas the ma and the neshamas the ban, which is explained in Samach Vav there ba'arichas, the two dargas of the neshamas. Okay, so over here in the Pnim of the Sicha, the two inyanim of Tzion and Yerushalayim that the Rebbe is talking about corresponds also to these two levels of bittul that the Rebbe is speaking about. Okay, they'll come out of 55-87. This is there's one hemshech over here in this whole Indian 52, 55. And Hashem next week we'll learn the hardest on this Indian. No. Yeah. Okay, we'll see in Hashem next week. This is already shaykh to the Hada 55 that Rebbe has here. Okay, we'll see in Hashem.
Keep us in suspense.
Yeah, Hashem.
Okay.
Yeah.
This would be the lower level and the higher level.
So that if you have also another word.